Cut. We're doing the automated Python unit testing with GitHub Actions. When you clone the repo, first thing is in requirements, I would remove the old versions of 7 because you'll get lots of warnings. So I'm just doing it with the latest versions here. And you'll need to set up a repository for this so that we can test GitHub Actions. I've created this one, the links included, YouTube PWE GitHub Actions. And add your remote. One thing is that because we've cloned it, we're going to have to remove the remotes because they will be the one from the repository we've just cloned. So what we'll do is if we do git remote -v, we'll see those ones. And to remove the remote is git, let me just check that, remove remote, git, I think it's git remote add -v. Let me -v to remove a vote. Git remote -v. So git remote rm origin. Sorry, git remote rm origin. Let's remove the origin. Git remote -v. It's no longer there. Now when we go back into our repository let's just get that up. When we get that so that we can add the remote add, I created a new repository, and then what I do is I just add these two. That'll now work. That's pushing it all up, so it's all set. And if we come in here now, if we refresh, we will see that we've got ours uploaded up top. And if we go into actions, it's running the GitHub Actions. So if we come into the folder, we have the YAML file. And if we want to run coverage, we can run this as our coverage test. We can create a coverage report. So let's see how our actions are going. Done. So init, the build, one job completed, build complete with exit, so 2. Why did that one fail? That was using rough. It had an expected armor dash 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 to tip depart double dash. So what is it asking for in here? When we're running rough, it's asking dash dash. Control save. And I'm changing the version to 3.12, so I'll do 3.12 here. And now if I push that up again, test 2, and commit that up. Go back to actions, be getting test 2 running. Let's see if that clears it. Still doesn't like something here. Warning, rough is deprecated. Use rough check path instead. No such file found. 2 errors. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the rough part of this. Close this down. Pip install rough. So it doesn't quite like any of these things here. So if we come back into it, use rough check. Let's do that. And rough check. No such file or directory. Target version equals py 3.1211. I'm going to revert this back to 3.10. And actually I'll run these on 3.10 rather than Well, I can run it on those two versions and see what happens. So in fact, what I'll do is I'll actually just do as original. The only thing that I've changed really from the beginning is to do dash 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 format and do rough check. Let's post this up. Test 3. Sync it. Go into actions. Test 3 going. Again, no such file or directory. GitHub target version, no such file or directory on error 2. Git install. What I will do, it says I'll continue on error run true. What we can do is let's just comment out that job and let's do test 4, because we're just basically running all of these things, but that's us showing the errors. Let's see what happens with test 4. The main thing is it's showing us the errors and stuff. So as I say, we're going through. So we're commenting out this area here. Notice the continue on error true. So that's our linting that's failing. But anyway, let's come back into our actions. There's a warning, that's fine. So job completed. The build. We've tested with PyTest. So if we wanted to run this under more versions, what we can do is come in here. And there's a Python versions. Let's say we want to test on 3.11 and 3.12. And 3, well, that comes up through nicely. If we run these, now when we run this again, we do test 5. We can see that we can run on different versions. We could also run it on different platforms, Ubuntu, Windows, or Mac, but just for now we can do that. We're running the test, we're doing the code coverage report. So if we go back now into our actions, test 5, let's have a look at test 3 and see what it did. What did it print for the coverage report? Check out generate coverage report. There we get the coverage report, 100%. So that's running fine. We tested with PyTest. They will pass there. We posted up on 3.10. So if we come back now into actions and have a look at test 5 failed. Why did test 5 fail? It failed on 3.9 and 3.11, 3.10. Why did it fail? So it failed. It passed on 3.11. That was fine. Build 3.9 it didn't like. Unsupported operand for type and type. Well, that's very good, because that's what that's actually showing us, is that sometimes we may be using Python code that doesn't work. These tests won't pass in 3.9, but they will in 3.11. In 3.10, what was the problem? Operation was cancelled. Installing packages, that failed. Let's see if we can just run that one again. See if we can run 3.10, rerun the how can we run just 3.10? So let's go back into here. So we know we found it doesn't work on 3.9. So that's good. So we know that that doesn't work. Let's run this again. Test 6. Commit it up. So as I say, that's useful. So we know we're testing our code. We can very easily test it on different Python versions. Two jobs completed. Okay, so it passes on 310, passes on 311. These warnings are more about Node.js and putting out actions rather than things. So that's good. So now we see on 311, just needed to run again. So if we look at our tests, they all pass. If we look at our coverage report, that's good. So key points here is in requirements, I basically took latest versions. Run test, I tried it on two different 3.10.11 and commented out rough, because there's obviously something in the code it's not quite liking. And also when we had it, we had to have rough check and dash dash format to there. So let's leave that. So that's nice. That's a good way to test our code on different versions. And we could almost set a matrix with different run builds. I think look in the docs for that. You can do up your test matrix, and then you're going to get 2 times however many platforms you're working on. So that's nice. So that's the GitHub workflow actions using PyTest, which we'll use in our CI/CD.